I wanted to talk about self-worth, because oftentimes self-worth and self-esteem will get mixed together, and people will take their self-esteem and they will apply that as their self-worth when the two are inherently different. And it can be dangerous when we take how we view our self-esteem and apply that to our self-worth, because while self-worth is supposed to be based on internal feelings and that inherent sense of being a good person and feeling good about yourself and just genuinely who you are, self-esteem is more so taking external factors and letting that influence our perceptions of ourself. So self-worth is a sense of one's own value or worth as a person, and a feeling of being a good person who is deserving of respect and value as a person inherently. Self-worth isn't something that should be based on external factors, much like self-esteem, but it's taking those external factors and knowing that regardless of them, you are greater than that, and it's basing your worth off of your characteristics as a person, rather than how other people perceive you and applying that to your sense of worth. So self-esteem is the way that we think, feel, and perceive ourselves based off of external factors. And what's dangerous about that is there's always going to be somebody who is richer, more successful, might have things that you don't have, might look a way that you wish that you looked. But that's going to apply to everybody. And everybody is going to let that kind of influence their self-esteem. But that doesn't apply to your self-worth. Self-worth is more about, like I said, the stuff that is going on inside of you. Because when you take external factors and you try to apply that to your sense of worth, you might never feel like you're worth much if you're not hitting that expectation that you have from these other people. And your worth isn't based off of external factors. You are worthy regardless of what you do or don't have. Those external factors don't take away your worth as a person, just like they wouldn't for anybody else. Yes, some people might have things that you don't have, but that doesn't mean that you're any less deserving of respect or value or necessity within this world just because you don't have what they have or you're not living the life that they are living. You don't need to be special, above average, or have something that other people have or be better than the next person in order to be worthy of anything: respect, love, care, kindness. And when we actually think about what it is that makes people worthy, we all have those traits. It's measuring your levels of compassion, kindness, care, love, support, the way that you interact with those around you and the people that you care about. Those are the things, when we think about what really matters when judging somebody's character and judging our own character, that should be looked at more so than the external factors that people can gain throughout their life. So when you're trying to judge your own worth or self-worth, the first thing to understand is you're worthy regardless of external factors, regardless of what you do or don't have. But try to focus on understanding yourself, your characteristics, your personality, who you are authentically as a person. Don't get stuck in the comparison trap of they have this, I have this, they have that, I want that. That is more a reflection of self-esteem, because those are things we aspire to be as we try to assimilate into the world around us. Self-worth is more about the stuff that's inherently in us and the way that we interact with ourselves and the people around us. And when it comes to understanding yourself and trying to assess your self-worth, one of the key things is to practice your self-compassion. Interact in ways that are loving, caring, and kind towards yourselves, and take that behavior and those feelings and attach it to the experiences that you're having. Another way to embrace your self-worth is to engage in activities that are meaningful and fulfilling to you, whether they're important things to you, or they're things that make you happy or feel positive, or they're generous and helpful to others, or they're filled with love and compassion and care. When we engage and put our energy towards activities that are meaningful to us, then it helps us appreciate ourselves more, and it adds that sense of value to our lives that is really a core component of self-worth. And the last thing when it comes to self-worth is make sure that you're acting on your principles. So in other words, make sure that your actions and your words are congruent with one another. Because if we say one thing and then act another way, then we're leaving room for that inner critical monologue to creep through and pinpoint that we're not being authentic and we're not being true to ourselves. And that can take away the value that we place on ourselves. So keeping those things aligned can really help with assessing and understanding your worth as a person. Once you understand, accept, love, appreciate, and respect yourself, you get to this point where you don't become dependent on those external factors or other people to establish or give yourself a certain level of self-worth, because it's not dependent upon that anymore. It's not about that anymore. It's because you have that full understanding of who you are as a person, and you value that and you respect that. And from that point, you can continue to grow and engage in things that help increase that sense of value and love and respect for yourself.